Hi guys, welcome back. So today it is actually the middle of the day. I'm working from home because the AC is out at our office and I kind of love it. So I'm using my lunch break to film a quick video and put my makeup on for when I leave the house later. So typically I do put my makeup on every morning, but today I had one of those days where I just rolled out of bed and directly to my laptop. So, and then I've just been working ever since. So now that I'm on break, thought it would be a good time. So today, before I get all chatty, I wanted to talk about discounters. So like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, because I get this question a lot when I'm shopping with friends or family, like should they feel comfortable buying their makeup at a discounter. And since I have some experience both from the beauty industry as well as the apparel industry, I thought I'd chat about it. And in honor of it, I thought I would use a foundation that I bought at a discounter. So this is my Laura Mercier, the Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. I bought this at a TJ Maxx or Marshalls. One of those two. They're the same company, so I always get the two mixed up. But either way, I bought it at one of those two guys. And so the question I get often is it okay? So I wanted to dispel first rumor. From experience, no, you're not going to go to TJ Maxx and Marshalls and purchase expired makeup. That's the question that I always get is, oh, all that stuff's expired, I'm not going to buy it. Actually, and this is, again, from personal experience, I find that TJ Maxx specifically and Marshalls, they actually have higher standards than some traditional retailers when it comes to buying product. Like, they'll reach out to cosmetics companies to make a purchase, but you know, they have specifics like it can't expire within a year of when we bring it into the stores. That way it has shelf life. I can't remember if it's 1 year or two, but in any case, like they won't buy a product if it's going to expire within a year or two of when they take it into their stock, because they don't want to create a negative experience either. They're trying to get people to buy it from them, right? So, and that's all based on lock codes and things like that. So things that the consumer doesn't see. So sometimes we don't see a product expiration date because I'm sure you've all realized, like if there's no sunscreen in a product, for example, sunscreen is considered an OTC product. There's a few other ones like acne medication or things like that. They're considered OTC, over the counter, and manufacturers have to print an expiration date that anybody can read and understand. In honor of today's video, I'm also using my Algenist Reveal Concealer, which is also purchased at a TJ Maxx or Marshalls. I was very excited when I found this. So anyway, OTC products have them, other products don't. I know we are all used to seeing the use within the 12-month, like the best if used by, that's the open container thing that tells you that once you open it, you should use it within 12 months and or get rid of it. So that's what we as consumers are used to seeing. But manufacturers do know, like the birth date, that's what I call it, the birth date and expiration of every product they carry based on like their lock codes and all that. And many wholesalers, resellers, if you will, require that they pass on that information before they buy them. So I wanted to dispel that rumor first and foremost. The other rumor that I get asked all the time is, oh, aren't these things just like old product that was returned at like Ulta or Target? isn't all this just like damaged product that they resold. So no. For example, like Ulta is, just speaking, using Ulta as an example, there is no way in hell they would ever be allowed to resell a product that they purchased from a manufacturer. So if Ulta had purchased all of these Laura Mercier foundations, Laura Mercier repackaged them, which is how these old package ended up at a discounter retailer, because they said, oh shit, we still have a ton of these in stock, but we are now sending the new package to Ulta. Ulta doesn't want the old package anymore. What are we going to do with the old package? We're going to sell it to a TJ Maxx or Marshall's for them to sell it to their consumer. So in that scenario, for example, Ulta's not allowed to take their old product and be like, oh, well, Laura Mercier changed their packaging, so we're going to take all of their old packaged foundation and also resell it. That is a no-no. No, huge violation of a contract between two entities. Like that would make Laura Geller probably sue Ulta and possibly stop selling there, you know, or like change their margin on them or something. You know, it would be a huge violation of contract. So no, Ulta's on the up and up. They're not looking to get in trouble with any manufacturer of any way, shape, or form. You know, Ulta wants to keep their bargaining chips. They want to keep their margins low, and they want to keep their relationships with the manufacturers and vice versa, right? So this is the other question is, well, how come everything I see at Marshall's or Ross or TJ Maxx is old collections? So that holiday palette that Stila launched, you know, when the holiday is over, now you can buy it at, you know, TJ Maxx or Marshall's, or, you know, the exclusive quote unquote palette that Morphe launched at Ulta in 3 months, 6 months, or a year later shows up at TJ Maxx or Marshall's. That's because of exclusivity contracts that manufacturers have with their vendors. By the way, my brow is the e.l.f. I'm trying to get better about showing you guys what products I'm using, even when we're talking about other stuff. So those are exclusivity contracts that are drawn up. You know, if they launch a product and it says, oh, exclusively at Sephora, that means that Sephora said, hey, nay. You cannot sell this anywhere else. No. We want it. We want it exclusively. We'll pay for it exclusively. You know, but you have to make sure that you don't sell it to any other retailer for X amount of time. So therefore, you know, they have it, and that way you can't accidentally, you know, when it's still $52 at Sephora, you can't go get it for, you know, $19.99 at TJ Maxx. There's no way. But once that exclusivity time frame ends, you know, 9 times out of 10, a retailer either takes it out. For example, if it's a holiday palette, some sort of limited edition, something that isn't going to go into the wall, you know, like the regular display that you would shop normally. In those instances, yeah, Sephora, Ulta, Target even, they'll just pull it off and not carry it anymore. And they're not going to order anymore from the manufacturer. So the manufacturer now has freedom to go out and sell it to anybody else who wants it. And 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a discounter. Because, for example, if it was an Ulta exclusive for 6 months, Sephora doesn't want it. If it's like a limited edition palette, they're not going to relaunch it as a Sephora palette suddenly. Everybody knows that it was at Ulta for 6 months. Like, Ulta would be like, Sephora would be like, oh, we don't want Ulta's leftovers. Like, that's just not a thing that would happen. It might happen the other way around, where something was like a Sephora exclusive and now is no longer at Sephora and Ulta snatches it up. I don't know if that's the case. That strikes me as something that would happen. I'm not speaking, this is not at all from experience. I'm just sitting here thinking about the retailers themselves, like who they are. I'm like, maybe once upon a time Ulta would have done that because, you know, they were still considered like not as bougie or not as high-end as Sephora. But now I think they've evened the playing field. Like, I think Ulta's a bigger player than Sephora now in the beauty world. So neither of them are going to take the other's cast-offs. Although it's funny because this is a total tangent. But I think we all know, like, there are items that work better at Sephora versus better at Target or at Ulta, and vice versa. So I think there are times when like a brand will not sell well at Sephora at all, but then it takes off at Ulta and the other way around. And so in those situations, I don't know if it's like a castaway situation, just like a kind of knowing your customer. Anyway, that's a tangent and the conversation for another way. So we're back to discounters. So yeah, they're not getting damaged products or overflow product from like an Ulta or a Sephora or a Target. No way in hell. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to buy from them. Like TJ Maxx isn't allowed to buy from Ulta or Walmart, and Ulta and Walmart is 100% not allowed to sell to a discounter. They're extras. They're definitely not damaged. They're definitely not expired. And then the last one that I always get, what was the other question I always get? It's not, I did want to make one quick, like, I do get asked all the time, well, what happens to product that, like, Ulta has, or Sephora has, or Target has in store that they're no longer going to carry that, you know, what happens to all that product that they still have? Because obviously, like, let's say, for example, there's a gorgeous end cap for, we're going right into holiday, so my head's in holiday, right? This gorgeous end cap with all the holiday gift sets from like NYX, for example. We know they do like 20,000 gift sets every single year. And then the season's over, and there are times when there are still like 1 million gift sets left on that end cap. What happens? There are two ways for retailers, you know, Target, Ulta, Walmart, Sephora's of the world, to get rid of product. They either sell it to you and me gladly, and hopefully we get it at, you know, clearance rate if it's something that didn't move so hot, or they send it back to the manufacturer, and that is just based on their relationship, whatever's in their contract. Lots of ways to do this. This happens with clothing retailers too, by the way. But really, those are the only two ways. Once Target, Ulta, Walmart, Sephora buy product from a manufacturer, they're stuck with it. They can either sell it or they can return it to the manufacturer, and that's it. So yeah, you don't have to worry. You're not getting, you know, damaged goods, things that have been returned, none of that. Now, a few things that I would caution when buying cosmetics, and this is just something I caution anybody at any retailer. Like, if that product isn't sealed and you can tell like people have tampered with it, have opened it, you should 100% make sure there's like no fingerprints or gunky stuff. Like, I always do I will open up a bottle, and you know, you can always tell if it's been pumped. Like, obviously mine's been pumped, it's mine. I don't clean the nozzle every time. I should, but I don't. So I always open a foundation bottle and see if it's been pumped. because I don't want anybody else's gunkiness on it. Now, if it's a pump, I'm not, like, I just check that it's not disgusting. But if it's like been slightly pumped, there's like a little thing, but I'm like, I'll just clean off the nozzle really nicely when I get home and buy it. But if it's a lipstick and like I open that puppy up and that thing is smashed, or somebody obviously rubbed it across their face or anything like that, put that back. I don't care how deeply discounted that is. I'm not buying it. Sorry, not sorry. So that's my number 1. Number 2 is I don't buy obvious dupes from a discounter. So, for example, you know, hair care always springs to mind. There are obvious like white label dupes out there for like every brand under the sun. So OGX, for some reason, it's already cheap enough. And for some reason, there is a white label brand out there from I don't know where, like making their label look exactly like OGX hair care and selling it to discounters. And I'm just like, discounters, just go to OGX. But I'm guessing OGX won't sell to a discounter because their stuff is already really reasonably priced. Anyway, I don't know. That's my theory. But I don't buy obvious dupes at discounters. It's just a thing. I don't know why. But I do buy high end, and I always check the skincare the same way I check the color. Like, I prefer to buy skincare. If it's in a jar, I prefer it to have a seal. So those things are important to me. And, you know, always double check. I mean, they're not buying expired product, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't sat in there long enough to be expired. So I just double check the expiration date. But yeah, those are my, any other tips and tricks? That's it. Just double check expiration dates, double check, you know, that packages are sealed. And even if the box looks pretty, I always open up the product just to check it. Because what if it got dropped hardcore? By the way, that was my blush. Because what if it got dropped hardcore and like things are shattered inside? Like, don't hate on crappy packaging. So like, I've come across this a lot. That concealer I loved, the Algenist concealer. This packaging, I remember the box was white. It was a disgusting mess when I found this. But when I took it out of the box, it was perfect. It was like this. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you have a product with a doe foot, when it's brand spanking new, this portion right up by the lid is going to be really clean because nobody's pumped it out. So this part of it, the plug part, is still clean. So the doe foot, the actual handle of it, will be very clean when you first open it. It only gets dirty once you've taken product out and the plug has gotten dirty and when you close it back in. So that's my other quick like way of checking. I'll open up doe foot products. I will do this to them. I won't pull them out all the way, and I will check that area. If it's clean, nobody's pulled that doe foot out. Great way to check on products. So yeah, so those are my tips and tricks. Highly recommend go buy products at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. Look, here's the reality, okay? Cosmetics companies are always changing their products. They're always in need of newness, and they have really high minimums of the products they have to make in order to make them affordable for people. What I mean is, they can't, you know, if they know that Ulta is going to buy 100,000 pieces of a particular lipstick shade, great. Their minimum, they're also going to need to carry that in their warehouse, and they're also going to need to have enough left in case Ulta wants to reorder any of those. So their minimum order might be 10,000 units. Great. So they order 100,000 and then they have to order, you know, let's say they're being conservative. They'll order an extra 50,000. They probably will order, you know, double that, whatever it is. You know, they have to order extra. They can't just order what they know what Ulta is going to order, you know. And that's assuming Ulta's their only client, right? What if they're Ulta, Sephora, whatever? So they have to order that quantity that retailer wants plus extra to make sure they have enough. At the end of the season, at the end of the year, at the end of whatever the life of that product was meant to be on the shelf, every cosmetics company has extras left in their warehouse. It's just the way it is. I don't know, and this goes for clothing retailers too, by the way. I don't know of any company who so accurately orders exact quantities so they never have leftovers. They need to sell it somewhere. They need to get rid of it because they've already paid for that product. They're trying to turn a profit. It would be silly to write it all off and just throw it away because nobody else is buying it. And that's where our TJ Maxx, our Marshalls, our Ross make their, like, they make a play for it. They go to the manufacturers and they say, hey, Laura Mercier, hey, Algenist, hey, L'Oreal, what do you have extra in your warehouse that we can buy? And, you know, they have their buyers too. So that buyer from TJ Maxx wants to buy stuff that people want to buy. So they're keeping their eyes on the trends too. If, you know, that Urban Decay eyeshadow palette didn't do so hot, but the buyer knows that if she puts Urban Decay in their store, it's going to sell like hotcakes because it's Urban Decay and because it's always top of mind of people as a brand, they're going to buy it. And it's great for us who want to buy stuff inexpensively. So I hope to help. I hope I helped dispel some rumors and answer some questions. If there's anything else you guys kind of want to know about, and if I know about it, I'll talk about it. If I don't know about it, I'll research it and let you know. But I have all this useless knowledge now in the back of my head, so I might as well share it with everybody. Let me know if you like the style of video. Like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate you. I hope this wasn't too meandering. Let's get real. All my videos are meandering around and around. So I thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you soon. Bye.